Hello, Chloe here from Border River Flowers. Well, spring has definitely sprung here, and normally it will be my favourite time of year, but it is warming up very fast, faster than normal, and I am already starting to feel it and not looking forward to the warmer months. I dislike winter, so normally spring, September in particular, is my favourite month of the year. But it's feeling more like the end of spring rather than just coming into spring. So hopefully the temperatures balance out a little bit and we don't get a excessively hot summer, because I don't think I could handle it. I just wanted to quickly show you all our spring, our overwintered seedlings and where they're at on the second day of spring. These are our ranunculus here, which were planted from corms, and they're just starting to send up their heads now, which this time last year we were already well and truly into picking flowers. So even though it was a warmer winter, yeah, they're a bit confused by it. I think these are our poppies. They have been flowering for a couple of weeks now. I haven't done a pick on them the last couple of days as I've been knocking over some other jobs, so I need to get to that. These are campanula, which were overgrown by weeds, so didn't do amazing. And even though it was a warm winter, when we had about 2 to 3 weeks of frosts, which were only, I think the lowest we got was -2, maybe 3. So really mild. I need to weed these, but this is delphinium. I just wanted to give a rough idea on sort of when you can expect flowers when you overwinter. So we're getting flower, like everything's budding up now, whereas normally if we were to plant once the weather started warming up, we'd be looking at another 2 to 3 months before we had any flowers. So yeah, this is the delphinium all budding up. This is our second later planted lot of snapdragons here, and they're amazing. They look beautiful. Don't worry about the white on the leaves. We had a bit of fungal in a couple of things, so we just sprayed with sulfur to make sure everything didn't get affected by it. And these are more of the corm ones. These were ones I bought in as corms this season. This is the salmon one, so they're meant to be salmon. I'm pretty sure that one there is coming out white. And then we have our larkspur, which is what we had the fungal in the worst, which I didn't have with it last season, so that's something new. I've not had to deal with that. It's sort of like getting in the stem, if we can see there. So I'm not quite sure. It's a bit annoying because even though they're covered in buds, like a lot of the time as soon as the flowers start opening, it's a bit like they're just a bit deformed. They're certainly not what they should be, so that's a bit disappointing. But yeah, this one here is the pink, and this one's the white. This one is tall, very tall. And it seems to have handled it better, like it's got proper flower stalks. Like they seem to be opening quite alright, but they still have the yellowing on their leaves, so that's not great. This is our first succession of snapdragons, which is really planted for a wedding in 2 weeks' time. And they've all decided to flower now, but hopefully as the side shoots sort of open up as well, I might have enough. These are the apricot ones. They're probably a little bit more of got a lemony colour to them than what I thought they might be in a apricot one. But anyway, this is a Morpho Delphinium here, which suffered from weeds a bit earlier in the season. It's been flowering for probably, oh gosh, month, 6 weeks. But the stems have been more like this, really bushy, but just short and unusable. They're just starting to send up longer stems now, which is good. I'd love to have some of these for the wedding in a couple of weeks' time as well. DIY, but it's quite a few stems that I've got to provide for it. But isn't that colour just amazing? I love blue. This was where our stock were, which flowered in winter when they weren't meant to flower until now. So that's something to note, because stock really don't mind the cooler weather, because we had a mild winter. They flowered during the winter, and I got cut some of them at the start, but as soon as we got the frost, it sort of did damage to the flowers. This is the ones I planted as plugs. They started sending up buds before the corn ones, but this is the apricot. No, this is the pastel mix ones, but like I lost a fair few of them because of had such a warm start to the season. So a lot of this in here is actually weeds, but this isn't a tour or anything like that as such. Just wanted to sort of show you when you can be expecting flowers, in not definitely strictly exactly, because even from this year to last year, things are flowering a little bit differently because of having a different winter, different temperatures throughout winter. Just a bit of a general idea on how much earlier you get flowers. This little patch here, it's Scabiosa. I think there to there, my daughter planted them from seed and is quite excited about them. This is our Veronica, which is just starting to take off, which I need to go through and weed again, because I've found one thing with Veronica is it does not like competition from weeds. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. It sits here, it looks practically dead all winter. Pretty bad. The purple one's taken a little bit longer to pick up, but yeah, it'll sit there looking really horrible all winter, and you're like, oh, I think I've lost most of those, and then all of a sudden they start growing and they grow like crazy. Definitely need to weed again. And over here we did a big cleanup mode, but the grass is growing that fast. This is the Sweet William, the Coral Sweet William, which I planted hoping I would get flowers off it before winter, and it started flowering just as winter set in, and it stopped flowering for the few weeks we had frost, and it's just started up again, and it's quite amazing. I've got to say, it has amazed me with its but yeah, it also needs a good weed, the poor stuff. And just a few status down here, which I actually planted during winter, because I thought if it was going to stay mild, I might as well make use of it and plant. This is the apricot ones here. It's absolutely covered in buds. I've not had success. I tried to grow status last season, did not have success with it, but even like the first stems on this are amazingly long, so excited to have that. So yeah, just wanted to give you a quick idea. I planted these 4 to 6 weeks before our first frost date would normally be when you don't have an unusual season, which we seem to have more of those now than used to be, but you just got to work with what you got. And a couple of the things, so like the snapdragons that are flowering, opening now, the apricot ones, some of those did try and open while it was cool, and the flowers just shriveled up, and that was it. Fine, I cut it back, and now they're just doing their thing still the same, so it didn't affect them. I wonder if the unusual weather through winter is the reason for what is happening with the larkspur, which is presenting a little bit in some of the delphinium as well. But it's not necessarily the reason. The snapdragons I planted second, they're doing absolutely amazing. They've just gone great guns the whole time. But delphinium and the snapdragons handle the cool the best I've found with what I've grown. And yeah, so just a bit of an idea where the second day of spring, it's the 2nd of September today, and you know, if we had have had a really cold winter, we were probably still getting light frosts now, so we wouldn't be expecting sort of this growth on our flowers for another couple of weeks normally. But I think we can, it's fair to say that within like a couple of week time frame sort of to when you would have flowers compared to if you were planting now as it's warming up, yeah, you wouldn't be getting flowers for at least another 8 to 12 weeks. So, and then you're getting into your warmer weather, so your cooler flowers don't particularly like that, and so you struggle with other problems. And then I think we're going to have a really short ranunculus season if it keeps warming up the way it is. We've had consistent temperatures between 28 and 32 for the past week and a half. So if that continues, our ranunculus season is going to be very, very short. I had a lot less ranunculus than I hoped, but maybe that's a good thing in the fact that, yeah, we'll just have a really short season. But then again, if they had have grown, I could have still had the corms even if they didn't flower well, which is always a good thing with ranunculus. Even if you don't get a good season of flowers, you've got the corms. I've got my first lot of plugs to go in the ground. I got them end of last week, so I'll be putting them in, hardening them off over the next week. I'll probably be planting them end of this week, start of the week after. That'll be our next lot. So as these flowers now are winding down, having the next lot starting to flower. So yeah, just a bit more on cool flowers, overwintering, and how it helps you get flowers a little bit earlier in the season. I took a few clips of some of the things that remind me that spring is here, and I'll pop them in, so I hope you enjoy them. And I'm going to try to enjoy even remotely at least the cool mornings and afternoons while we've got them, because I feel like we're not going to have them for very long either. So yeah, Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.